In the realm of Ascalon, where magic surged through the veins of the earth itself, there lived a warrior unlike any other. Sir Gideon Crestfall was not just a renowned swordsman. His name echoed with tales of valor that made even the bards pause in awe. But within that name lay a secret so dark it threatened to consume him. Gideon had been cursed, doomed to turn into a monstrous beast each full moon, wreaking havoc until the dawn. It all began during the war with King Oberon's northern barbarians. Gideon had slain many in battle, but one, a shaman clad in furs and bone ornaments, had caught his attention. Despite his allies' pleas to show mercy, Gideon had executed the shaman without hesitation. Little did he know that this shaman was no ordinary warrior, but the son of the moon goddess Lunara, who took great offense at her son's demise. As the young man's life ebbed away, he placed a curse upon Gideon, dooming him to inherit the beastly curse of lycanthrope. And as the first full moon approached, Gideon felt the curse take hold. His bones ached, his skin burned, and an insatiable bloodlust coursed through his veins. Then, as the moon reached its zenith, the transformation was complete. Gone was Sir Gideon Crestfall. In his place stood a hulking beast of immense power. To contain the beast, Gideon's companions bound him with enchanted silver chains, each link singing with lunar magic. They locked him away in a tower, hoping the rising sun would weaken the beast enough for them to bind him completely. By morning, only a whimpering dog remained. The worst of the curse seemingly passed. But the relief was short-lived. As the next full moon loomed, the terror returned. The people of Ascalon prepared, donning protective amulets and readying weapons dipped in holy water. Yet, when the moon reached its peak, the beast proved too powerful. It tore through the defenses like tissue paper and vanished into the night. This continued until Gideon sought out the hermit Alaric, who dwelt deep in Whisperwood. For Alaric was a master of the arcane arts, having devoted his life to unraveling the secrets of the moon and the stars. After hearing Gideon's tale, Alaric agreed to help, sensing in the cursed warrior a chance to understand the very essence of the beastly curse. For weeks, Alaric studied ancient texts, seeking a way to break the curse. Finally, he presented Gideon with 2 vials, one filled with a shimmering liquid, the other with a cloudy black sludge. "Drink this," said Alaric, "and though you may retain some of the beast's strength, the curse will be broken." Gideon hesitated, for in his heart he feared losing the part of him that had become a legend in Ascalon, the part that made him a force to be reckoned with. But as the next full moon approached, the beast within him grew restless. With a final nod, Gideon drank the potion. As the moon rose higher, the transformation began, but instead of a horrible monster, Gideon found himself taking on a more bestial, yet undeniably human form. The potion had lessened the curse's power, but at a terrible cost. He could feel the strength of the beast surging through him, making him faster, stronger, more lethal. But he also felt a consuming rage, a bloodlust that threatened to overwhelm him. He was being pulled towards the nearest village, compelled by a primal urge to kill, to eat. Somehow Gideon managed to resist these urges, pushing forward despite the pain and exhaustion. And then he saw it, a clearing bathed in moonlight up ahead. And in that clearing stood Alaric, his face grave. Beside him were several villagers, their faces etched with fear. In their midst was a young woman, her eyes wide with terror, her hands reaching out as if in supplication. She was the village healer's daughter, Alaric told Gideon, and the beast was heading straight for her, hoping to claim her life essence to sate its hunger. With a snarl, Gideon charged. Though he fought with the strength of the beast, he knew he couldn't win against such overwhelming odds. Just as the beast was about to deliver a killing blow, a figure stepped forward. Tall and regal, cloaked in flowing white robes, the newcomer held aloft a staff topped with a glowing orb. With a voice that boomed like thunder, the newcomer struck the beast with a bolt of searing lightning. The pain was excruciating, but it gave Gideon the opening he needed. He dodged the beast's snapping jaws and drove his sword deep into the creature's chest. The beast roared in pain and collapsed. Panting heavily, Gideon staggered back, his human form slowly returning. Before him, the beast began to writhe and transform, taking on the features of Sir Gideon Crestfall. Yet something was different. His eyes, once a warm hazel, now shone with an eerie silver light, and as he rose to his feet, his gaze fell upon the staff held by the newcomer, his eyes widening in recognition. "Lunara," he whispered, realizing who had come to claim her son's life. Lunara, the moon goddess, had come to Escalon, and she was far from pleased. She berated Alaric for meddling in matters of the arcane, for attempting to lessen her son's curse rather than helping him embrace it. Gideon, she declared, was meant to be a vessel for the wild hunt, destined to ride with her son and her wolves across the night sky, bringing balance to the world through the judicious application of death. She turned to Gideon, her expression softening slightly. She offered him a choice, to accept the lycanthrope curse and join her in the wild hunt, or to reject it and live out the remainder of his days as a mortal, forever haunted by the curse that simmered beneath his skin. Gideon looked down at his hands, feeling the power thrumming within him, the strength that came with embracing the curse. But he thought of the people of Escalon, the friends and companions who had suffered because of his curse. Could he really bring himself to do what Lunara asked, to forsake his humanity, to become a monster? Before he could answer, Lunara raised her staff, deciding for him. "Very well," she said, her voice echoing with the power of the moon. "So be it." And with a wave of her staff, she bestowed upon him the full power of the lycanthrope curse. Gideon roared in pain as the transformation began, his bones cracking and reforming, his muscles growing, his teeth lengthening. When it was over, standing in his place was no longer a man, but a magnificent beast, a werewolf of immense power and presence. At his command, wolves the size of bears rose from the forest, their eyes gleaming with otherworldly fire. And at his side, Lunara stood tall, a smile gracing her lips. Together they led the wild hunt across the night sky, bringing balance to the world, bringing death to those who deserved it most. As the years passed, Gideon became a force to be reckoned with, feared and respected in equal measure. Yet every full moon, as the curse reached its peak, he remembered the choice he had made, the life he had left behind. One night, as the hunt raged across the heavens, Gideon paused, catching his breath. Beside him, Lunara questioned him, her brow furrowed in concern. In that moment, Gideon realized he could never truly be at peace while the people of Escalon lived in fear of the monster among them. He confessed his turmoil to Lunara, revealing the love he harbored for the mortals despite the pain his curse had inflicted upon them. Lunara listened patiently, and when Gideon was done, she nodded understandingly. She, too, had felt the turmoil in Gideon's heart and had watched him struggle with his curse for years. She had hoped that in time he would embrace the power within him, but she realized he was right. It was time for the curse to end. Using her powers, Lunara severed a portion of the curse, granting Gideon the ability to control the beast within him. Now he could choose to embrace the werewolf at will, to use its power when needed, but he would no longer be forced to become the monster under the full moon. With the curse lifted, Gideon became a legend, not just as Sir Gideon Crestfall, the valiant warrior, but as the Wolf Lord, the noble beast who had chosen to walk alongside mortals, protecting them while embracing his inner beast. And so the tale of the Moonlit Curse became a legend in Escalon, a reminder that even the darkest curses can be overcome, and that true strength lies in accepting one's true self, no matter how monstrous it may seem.